Hi there, Mike McArthur from the Oshkosh Public Library, ready for more Librarian Learns. This is the show where I take a look at a piece of Oshkosh history that I found interesting myself or someone's asked me about when I'm at the library. Today I'm answering a question that I get actually quite often, especially from people who are new to Oshkosh or first visiting the library, which is, this is an amazing library. How did you get this library? The topic is especially apropos this month, October of 2024, which we are marking the 30th anniversary of the opening of the current library. So let's take a look at the library's history. So a free public library in Oshkosh was created by referendum in 1895. It got its own location inside City Hall in 1896, but there were still always plans to create its own structure. The city was able to do this by a generous donation from Marshall and Abby Harris. Marshall Harris was a local lumberman who died in 1890, and in his will he stated that he would like to leave a significant amount of their estate, about $75,000, to the city to build a free public library. When Abby Harris died in 1895, her will created a fund that the city could access the $75,000 in their estate if the city matched the funds through bonding or donations within 3 years. Ex-Senator Felita Sawyer donated $25,000 to get things rolling, and eventually in 1898, the city bonded the last $50,000. Construction broke ground in 1899. The building was designed in the neoclassical style by local architect William Waters, and on Labor Day 1900, Oshkosh's free public library opened. Fast forward now to the early mid-1960s. Oshkosh has grown quite a bit. In 1900, when the library opened, Oshkosh was about 28,000 people. In 1965, it was over 50,000. And the library saw a lot more usage and was used a lot more than it was ever envisioned. They were just out of space, out of office space, out of space for the materials. So they started to put together a plan to refurbish and create a new library. What was settled on was kind of an L-shaped structure that wrapped around the west and north side of the original Waters building. The new building opened in September of 1968 and had a lot of modern technology and collections that libraries were collecting now. It wasn't just books anymore. Highlights were the audio consoles and phonographic record collection. There was the new IBM electric typewriter, and an expanded children's department was created actually in the original building. The Friends of the Library were even demonstrating a new service where you could check out art. How cool is that? By the late 1980s, we were once again out of space. After conducting a number of studies, the library board decided to create a plan to to essentially tear down the old L-shaped library and expand into a new 36,000 square foot library that was going to come at a cost of about $8.4 million. This was going to be probably a close vote regardless, just due to the price. Complicating matters was the famous Playboy censorship controversy of 1989. So in March of 1989, a parent came to the library and complained that her third grader had checked out a Playboy magazine from the library. Yes, the library carried Playboy in the 1980s. So this set off a massive debate in the community about censorship and obscenity, restricted library access, and my taxes, and freedom of speech, etc., 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 etc. So after months of back and forth, the library board voted to keep the Playboys in the collection with no access restrictions. This did not set well with certain members of the community, especially with the library now asking for $8 million and a new building. So on November 6, 1990, the voters rejected the referendum to fund the new library, pretty decisively by about 58% to 42%. And although after exit polling showed that most of the no votes had to do with the cost and the budgets, the Playboy controversy definitely did not help the library situation. In 1992, representatives from an anonymous donor approached city manager William Free with an offer to give up to $5.5 million for the building of a new library if the city would match the funds. Almost exactly like the original bequeathment from the Harris family to build the original library. Ultimately, the city bonded for a little less than the full $5 million, and with some additional fundraising of about another $200,000, they secured funding for the construction of the current library. In 1996, it was revealed that the anonymous donor was Alberta Kimball, the former president of the Miles Kimball Corporation. So, in February of 1993, the entire library and its staff was boxed up, even the librarians, we put them in boxes, and shipped over to what they referred to as the Radford Building, which was a city-owned building at 40 Wisconsin Avenue. Although I have heard some comments from people who liked the temporary location, these comments surely weren't coming from the staff. So it was really just a big warehouse. So it was cold in winter and hot in the summer. There were leaks, terrible humidity, fleas, all sorts of pests that you would find in an old warehouse. And this was your public library for about a year. The new library was designed to be a wraparound that highlighted and preserved and restored the original Waters building. The L-shaped 68 edition was torn down, and they began construction on the new structure, which would wrap around. It would move the entrance from Washington Avenue to the back side, to the north side of the library. It would expand the parking lot. It actually used some of the 68 expansion, particularly it's the basement level of the expansion became part of the children's section today. And in October of 1994, the library welcomed the community back into the newly renovated and established Oshkosh Public Library. So aside from the whole new building that got wrapped around the original library in '93, the other big change was the restoration of what we refer to as the Waters building, the original 1900 building. As you can see back behind me, they attempted to return it to about as close to the original layout and look as it was in 1900. So this space went through lots of changes. The biggest changes were probably in the 1950s when the dome area, which you can see above me right here, was boarded up to make more floor and office space upstairs. During the 67-68 edition, this whole area was the children's department, which you wouldn't really know it looking at it today, but you could tell by these pillars, because those are the only parts that didn't get plastered or boarded over. So it's kind of weird to think, that if you have a lot of memories, you were playing in the children's area right here where I'm standing. But like I said, in '93, they paid for the complete restoration of this space, and now it's open and gorgeous and has so many different kinds of light bulbs in it. So hey, I learned something. If you like these videos, want to see more, hit like, hit subscribe, share, comment. What are some of your favorite memories of the library? If you haven't been in it a while, come on and check it out. I'm here, so you can say hi to me. And with that, I'll see you later.